Well, good Wednesday morning to you, and thanks for joining us here on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Alicia Lewis. Happening right now, storms are making their way into the metro, triggering a Kare 11 weather impact alert day. Our weather team says our severe weather chances are low, but we will see some heavy rain at times today. The alert lasts through noon tomorrow, so of course, just be prepared to get wet. We're going to be checking in with meteorologist John Ziegler, and he'll have much more on the forecast that's coming up in just a little bit. Meanwhile, developing right now, Minneapolis Fire investigating a fire at a building near North 3rd Avenue and 5th Street. That's just up the road from Target Field. At one point, while crews were battling the fire, flames were coming out of the back of the building. Crews were able to quickly get the fire out. They are trying to figure out what sparked it. Right now, preparations are underway for Minnesotans to say a final goodbye to House Speaker Melissa Hortman, the first woman to ever lie in state at the Capitol. In fact, she's going to be the 20th person to ever do so. Friday, Hortman will lie alongside her husband, Mark, and their dog, Gilbert, which is also a first. For those who have lived through this, like former St. Paul Mayor Chris Coleman, it's an unforgettable moment. His father, Nick, was a longtime state senator who would lie in state after dying from leukemia back in 1981.
It was the ordinary people that came. That's what I remember. It's just there were just hundreds and hundreds or more people that just came to pay their respects, and that meant a lot to us at the time.
The first person to ever lie in state was Civil War veteran William Colville back in 1905, along with Nobel Peace Prize winner Frank Kellogg in 1937, Vice President Hubert Humphrey in 1978, and most recently former Governor Al Quie in 2023. Well, President Trump is spending his first full day at the NATO summit with global leaders in the Netherlands as his fragile ceasefire deal between Israel and Iran is holding. The president's touting a win on the international stage, but just how big is that win? New reports are suggesting that Iran's nuclear program may not be as damaged as the administration has said it was. And Democrats are now demanding to know more details and accusing the White House of delaying briefings because of the latest news. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington.
Hi there. We've been hearing today from President Trump at the NATO summit, again asserting that Iran's nuclear program has been totally obliterated. He's dismissing new questions about the extent of the damage. President Trump at the NATO summit in the Netherlands with key allies touting a diplomatic win between two sworn enemies as a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Iran appears to be holding. Recounting how he urged Israel's prime minister to back off a planned retaliatory strike.
I said, you got to get them back. And they came back, and it was a great thing, and it's going very well.
At the same time, there are new questions about how effective U.S. airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites were, with a preliminary assessment by the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency estimating Iran's nuclear program has been delayed by 3 to 6 months. That's according to 3 people with knowledge of the report. The White House calling that assessment flat out wrong.
We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration.
But one of the sources said core pieces remain intact. Questions also over what Iran may have moved from its nuclear sites before the U.S. strikes.
I believe they didn't have a chance to get anything out because we acted fast.
Top Democrats in Congress accusing the Trump administration of misrepresenting the truth about the damage, questioning why the White House delayed planned briefings lawmakers have been demanding.
What are they running away from?
The head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog pointing to an important degree of visible damage.
The Iranian nuclear program has been set back significantly.
While acknowledging no one could fully assess the destruction underground at the key Fordo site, pressing Iran to resume diplomacy for a long-term solution. House Speaker Mike Johnson said his chamber would be briefed on Friday on Iran, with the Senate set to be briefed tomorrow. And while the Middle East conflict is likely to take center stage at the NATO summit, member nations also talking about increasing their defense spending and showing support for Ukraine. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, this morning, an Iranian man arrested in St. Paul over the weekend is in ICE custody, accused of living in the U.S. illegally and allegedly having ties to Hezbollah. 56-year-old Maran Sahali was one of 11 Iranian nationals ICE says it arrested within the span of about 48 hours. Court records show Sahali was convicted of possessing a fraudulent immigration document back in 2009. In 2022, Sahali pleaded guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm. That year, ICE says an immigration judge ordered Sahali to be removed from the country. A former supervisor special agent for the FBI says that Iran may have groups within the U.S. who would act on its behalf.
I don't know that it's confirmed. I think it is supposed. The probability that sleeper cells from Iran who are present in the country, I think that is a supposition, and it's probability-wise, it's probably a safe bet.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security says Sahali was formerly a member of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, Kare, and also has ties to Hezbollah. New information this morning involving a Blaine teacher already charged with videotaping up the dress of a third grader. And now a new search warrant is unveiling more details and more alleged victims. According to court documents, Jason Bassett, a Jefferson Elementary art teacher, admitted to investigators he took as many as 20 inappropriate videos of young girls for the thrill of it. A new search warrant lays out details claiming that school staff helped police confirm the identities of 4 more students in recordings found on Bassett's phone. It also alleges Bassett attempted to delete the videos. He is currently on administrative leave. Happening later today, community leaders will gather at Folwell Park to push for changes and new safety measures after an 11-year-old boy was shot and killed there on Monday. Gordon Severson has more.
It's out of hand at this point. An 11-year-old got shot and killed. I mean, come on now.
When Angela Williams heard about the shooting at Folwell Park just a few blocks from her home, she was concerned. But when she heard the child who died was just 11 years old, she felt a calling to speak out.
This is a call. This is a plea. People know what's in their house. You know, they know who got a gun. They know who's selling drugs. They know who's causing all this calamity.
It's like reliving it all over again.
Longtime community activist KG Wilson says the shooting reminds him of the violent summer in Minneapolis 4 years ago.
It started out with the 10-year-old shot in the car. Then there was 9-year-old. And then it was my 6-year-old granddaughter.
Wilson says in some ways the violence has gotten worse since then. He too is calling on the community to rise up.
This was an unusual incident for that park.
Minneapolis Park Police Chief Jason Ohado says there hasn't been a violent incident at Folwell Park in nearly 3 years. But after this shooting, he is adding extra patrols just to be safe.
I think it's important for the community to see a presence in that park, at least for the next couple of weeks.
Ohado says park police are using more data and analytics to decide where to assign their patrols. Meanwhile, community members like Williams are taking a stand, saying enough is enough.
This is all about the community. We speaking to the parents. We speaking to the children. We speaking to everybody because we want our community safe.
Well, happening right now, all eyes on Minnesota nurses as we're waiting to see if thousands of them will move forward with a strike at 11 metro hospitals, including major facilities like North Memorial and Children's. Members of the Minnesota Nurses Association say that they've been at the bargaining table for 3 months now. This week, they voted to authorize a strike, but would need to give 10 days notice before walking off the job. Nurses are protesting cuts to overtime pay and to staffing levels.
But when leadership violates the law, refuses to engage, and puts both patients and workers at risk, we have a duty to act.
In response, the Minnesota Hospital Association accused the nurses union of putting strike first, patients second, but that it's fully prepared to keep services going if a strike does in fact happen. Heads up for drivers taking 94 through St. Paul. Starting this Friday, MnDOT's going to be repairing 9 bridges over the freeway. The project's going to last for months, and crews are going to be periodically closing different parts of 94 throughout the whole summer. First closure will be the eastbound lanes between 35E and Highway 280. That's going to start 10 p.m. this Friday and last until 5 a.m. Monday morning. So just prepare for that. We're a week away, about a week away now from the Taste of Minnesota. And yesterday, Taste of Minnesota host Chef Andrew Zimmern previewed the events with a Juicy Lucy crawl.
You want me to put it in perspective for you? How many places on earth can say, yeah, we have a food that is as globally popular as a hamburger, except that ours was actually invented here? You know, mic drop. No one else can say that.
Oh, yeah. Those look so good. Juicy Lucy's from 5-8 Club, Matt's Bar, and Casper's and Runnion's Nook are going to be featured as a flight on the first day of the festival. The festival runs July 5th and 6th with free live music, food at Nicollet Mall. If you want to see the complete lineup, we have more details at tasteofmn.com. Sounds good. Hey, stick around. We have more news and more weather coming up after the break.